think, and this may be hard for people to understand, but it's rewarding work. Rewarding in the sense that you can give people answers that they need. You can make recommendations aimed at preventing other deaths in the same circumstances, because a lot of death that we see is entirely preventable with the appropriate precautions being taken. You look at drowning, which there's been in the news a lot this summer. We're a PFD. Teach your kids to swim. Little kids should never be more than arm's length from a parent. Those kinds of things are really kind of fundamental common sense, and yet we still have this going on. It's terribly sad, I think. You see another death where you've made recommendations and you said, and they haven't gotten to somebody, and I constantly think about how do we, it's one thing to get the horse to water, making the horse drink is another matter entirely. So how do we, in the 21st century, get information to people in a way that they'll assimilate it and say, yeah. So that's the secret in my mind, is you do two things. One is you make the technology really good, and you make it mandatory. And I know I'm going to be criticized perhaps for advocating for a nanny state, but when an intervention really does save lives, and we've got some evidence that, for example, wearing helmets or life jackets does save lives. You think 25 of 26 people who drowned in Ontario were not wearing a PFD in a boat. That's pretty telling, I think. I have an educational role, both for coroners who need to be updated and continually educated, but also for involving medical students and residents in forensics, because the next generation of coroners and pathologists is going to come from that group. So we need to make sure that they know that this is a career option, that they have that they can find very rewarding. We stress to them that death investigation is a feature of an advanced society. You go to the third world, they're not so interested in investigating deaths because they've got bigger problems that they've got to surmount first. But once you get waterborne disease out of the way, and you get neonatal mortality out of the way, then you start to think, well, how do we keep people alive and not having them die needlessly or prematurely? And that's what death investigation is all about. So that's another one of my roles, is to make sure that we have a system in the province that works well and is efficient. So our motto is we speak for the dead to protect the living, and that's what we try and instill in the coroners, is that the work that they do is absolutely aimed at the living, even though we cannot change what happened to the deceased person, but by understanding what happened, we can hopefully prevent deaths that shouldn't occur.